Namaskar everyone, I'm Kavya Dhakal, and today on this bright sunny afternoon in the peak winter of Kathmandu, I invite you to go through a journey with me. One, written in the 19th century by French author, the legendary Alexandre Dumas. Now, giving a bit of background to this story, the Count of Monte Cristo was originally published in a French newspaper in 18 volumes from 1844 to 1848. And the story is set from 1815 to 1838. Now, it is a really large book with varying themes of justice, of envy, and of compassion at the end. So the story starts in 19th century Marseilles, France. It is a vibrant port city, and a ship called the Pharaon has just ported. Now, at the time, the handling of ships was considered an art, and it was a huge fanfare when the Pharaon was arriving back to France. Our main character, the protagonist, Edward Dantes, is a 19-year-old young boy. He's the first mate of the ship. So the captain of the ship has just died on board, and they needed a quick and easy replacement. So they chose young Dantes. The wish of the captain on his deathbed was for Dantes to deliver a letter to some of Napoleon Bonaparte's, the exiled emperor's friends in Elba, Italy. He did so, but he was worried that some people would describe him as a Bonapartist. Now, at the time, it was the rule of King Louis XVIII, and to be a supporter of Emperor Napoleon was a massive crime and treason. So, summarizing the story in short, the enemies of Dantes, including Villefort, Fernand, and Edmund, were really against him. They did not like the promotion that Dantes was getting. So they decided to go against him and make a plan of their own with the help of Dantes' neighbor Caderousse. They plotted in the tavern in France, and they decided to frame Dantes for a crime he did not commit. How they framed him was that they forged a fake letter to the assistant prosecutor of the king, explaining all about the crime that Dantes did and how it went against the rule of good King Louis XVIII. So throughout as the year continued, and it was Dantes' wedding, the prosecutors of the king and the royal army came in to arrest him. It made a scene in small town France, because the good man who had just been promoted and who was just getting married was arrested out of nowhere with no previous criminal history. Now, as the years went on, Dantes was filled with thoughts of suicide and of ending it all, as he was sent off to the Chateau d'If in France. It was an inescapable island jail, and he did not receive a chance for a fair prosecution, as the assistant prosecutor of the king, Villefort, was also against him. And Villefort was a man who was really trying and finding for his own personal gains, and not for the gains and the support of anyone else. Now, as the years went on, and as Dantes started to give up all hope of life, another chance arose. He heard the scraping on his cell. It was someone they called the mad priest, Abbé VIIIA. He learned a lot from VIIIA in that year. And as the old man who was 60, who was quite fat, and who had learned a lot throughout his life, had taught him, Dantes went off to find a new treasure. He escaped from the unescapable prison and went into a boat with Italian smugglers. He taught the smugglers the way of the sea and of his experience as a first mate and riding the seas before he was wrongfully imprisoned. After the stories stories went on, he decided to buy the title of the Count of Monte Cristo, islands located off the shore of France, and he went back into mainland metropolitan Paris. Now, in metropolitan Paris, there was a lot of fanfare and drama and mystique over the cool new count, the mysterious new count who was coming in to their city. So, as Dante decided to take revenge on all of his enemies, Villefort, Fernand, and Edmond, he slowly discovered and entangled himself in a web of things of nobility and prestige and decorum in the France of Marie Antoinette's time. Now, this story is a really long and vast story. It's 18 volumes long, so I'd like to recommend everyone to please go and read it for yourself, as my summary does not do justice to the way in which Dumas wrote and the ways it has been translated. So I would like to conclude by saying that this novel was a brilliant piece of art that really made me think about life, death, and grief, and how all of these themes tied to the story of Edmond Dantes, who from a 19-year-old boy became a 32-year-old count. And it is also loosely based off of the experiences of Alexandre Dumas' father, Thomas Alexandre Dumas, who was the first black general in France and one of the most reputed army generals in all of Europe of the 18th century.